Welcome to my channel. In this video, you will learn about JavaScript promises with the help of examples. I'll also explain why and how to use promise in JavaScript. Without further ado, let's get going. What is promise? In JavaScript, a promise is an object that represents the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. In simple terms, a promise is an object that returns a value in the future. It is a proxy for a value not necessarily known when the promise is created. It allows you to associate handlers with an asynchronous action's eventual success value or failure reason. Why do we need promises? JavaScript is a single-threaded language. It can only do one thing at a time. JavaScript does not wait for any asynchronous operation to complete. It just executes the next line of code. So, if you want to execute a function after the completion of an asynchronous operation, you need to use a callback function. But, callback functions are not the best way to handle asynchronous operations. They create a lot of problems like callback hell. So, to solve this problem, promises were introduced. Promises are the best way to handle asynchronous operations in JavaScript. They are easy to understand and use. Now we know what is promise in JavaScript and why we need promises. Let's deep dive into other concepts of promise. How to create a promise. To create a promise, we need to use the promise constructor. The promise constructor takes a function as an argument. This function takes two parameters, resolve and reject. We will discuss these parameters in a while. A promise object has three states. 1. Pending. 2. Fulfilled. 3. Rejected. Pending. When a promise object is created, it is in the pending state when the promise constructor is called. It means that the asynchronous operation has not completed yet and the result is not available. It is the initial state of a promise object. Let's take the previous example. The promise object is in the pending state because we have just created it. Fulfilled. When the asynchronous operation completes successfully, the promise object is in the fulfilled state. It means that the result of the asynchronous operation is available. It is also called the resolved state. To change the state of a promise object from pending to fulfilled, we need to call the resolve function with the result. Rejected. When the asynchronous operation fails, the promise object is in the rejected state. It means that the result of the asynchronous operation is not available. It is also called the rejected state. To change the state of a promise object from pending to rejected, we need to call the reject function with the error. Let me quickly write a code to demonstrate the three states of a promise object. I've created a function that takes a number as an argument and returns a promise object. The function will check if the number is even or odd. I've also added setTimeout to simulate an asynchronous behavior of the function. When we call the function, the promise object is created and it'll be in the pending state because we have called the promise constructor. If the number is even, it resolves the promise object with the message, number is even. If the number is odd, it rejects the promise object with the message, number is odd. So far, we have only seen the states of promise. In the next section, we will see how to get the result of the promise object. Promise object has two important methods, then and catch. We can use these methods to handle the states of promise. The then method will be called when the promise object is in the fulfilled state. It takes a callback function as an argument. The callback function takes the result of the asynchronous operation as an argument. The catch method will be called when the promise object is in the rejected state. It takes a callback function as an argument. The callback function takes the error of the asynchronous operation as an argument. If we run the above code, we get result in the then method because the number is even. If we change the number to 3, we get the error in the catch method. Let's see how to handle promise using async and await. In modern JavaScript, you can use async await to handle the states of promise. The async keyword is used to define an asynchronous function. The await keyword is used to wait for the promise object to complete. If the promise object is in the fulfilled state, it returns the result. If the promise object is in the rejected state, it throws an error. If you want to handle an error in async await, you need to use a try-catch block. The try block contains the code that might throw an error. The catch block contains the code that will be executed if an error is thrown. The promise comes with a lot of methods. I will cover them in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. I will see you in the next